was not expecting to do this so soon. So I'm sure you guys can tell that this is going to be a haul video, and I'm going to mix together both physical books and ebooks because I have been reading more ebooks, and that means I have also been buying and downloading more ebooks. So I will kind of try to add those in towards the end of the video. So we'll start off with physical books and then move on to ebooks. Okay, so we're gonna first start off with the package that I have that I got today. So the first book that I have in this box is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, and I have been hearing about this book for so long, and I feel like I've been missing out because literally so many people love this book, talk about it all the time, and I finally broke down and got it because I'm like, you know what? So many people that I love and trust love this book, and I feel like I just need to read it. So this book is set in Cairo, and it follows a con woman, and she accidentally lets loose a djinn, and it seems like it just follows like their adventures around Cairo. And I'm really excited to read this. Like I said, I've heard so many good things about it, and I feel like I have just like completely missed the boat on this book, and I really need to jump on. Also, I was really excited to get the paperback. I've been like really into paperbacks lately. For some reason, I've just like not been really loving hardcovers. I don't know why. So recently I've just been like buying a lot of paperbacks. The second book that was in that box is The Other F Word, A Celebration of the Fat and Fierce, edited by Angie Manfredi. And I was recommended this book on Twitter recently, and it just sounded so interesting. I had no idea what it was about. I had heard of it before, but I hadn't really known like what the content was gonna be like. But since it was recommended to me, I figured that I might like it. So I'm super excited to see what this book is all about. I'm pretty sure it's just nonfiction, so just like a lot of different like maybe essays and all about fatness, and I'm just really excited to read it. The next book I recently got was Queenie by Candice Carty Williams, and this is an adult contemporary following a young woman who's about like 25 years old. I think I've talked about this book quite a few times in previous videos. So basically this book just seems like it's following a young woman through a quarter-life crisis, and I find that super interesting because I feel like I am also going through a quarter-life crisis because I am 25 years old, and you know, just what are we doing here? The next book I got was The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, and this is a thriller book. I don't read very many thrillers. Like, it's just not a genre that I typically reach for. I don't know why. I feel like I would like thrillers because I do love true crime. I like listening to those kind of podcasts. I like watching those shows. So you would think that I would love thrillers, but I never read them. Like literally, I never read them. So I've heard so many good things about The Turn of the Key, and I need to read it. I'm so intrigued by this book and everybody's reactions to it, and I don't really want to know too much going into it. I want to kind of be surprised by this book, so I really hope that that happens, and I hope that I love it, and possibly maybe in the future I might read more thrillers. The next book is actually a nonfiction by one of my favorite YouTubers, and that is You're Not Special by Megan Ranks. And this is just basically a memoir about her life, and I am super excited to finish it. I am about 78 pages into it, and I'm really enjoying it. I love her writing. I think she's hilarious. If you don't follow Megan Ranks, you like 100% should. She has been my favorite YouTuber since I was in high school, and I still love her. She is just literally the best. I look up to her. I think she's amazing, and I feel like if you watch her as well, you'll know how I'm influenced by her. It's very clear. So yeah, I love Megan, and if you love her too, get this book. It's really funny, and it's just like so well written. The next two books I got recently are actually N.K. Jemisin books, and the first one is The Killing Moon, and I actually just recently watched a review of this book, and I will link that down below because it was really good, and it definitely influenced me to buy this book. And then of course I got the Inheritance trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. So this is like a bind up. It is huge, like literally it's so thick. Like this is how thick it is compared to my face. Like literally. And I feel like whenever people show this book on their channels, they never show how thick it is. It's literally, it's so thick. It's a huge bind up of 3 books. I'm so excited to read this. I've heard so many good things. I'm pretty sure that this has hate to love in it. So you know me, I love hate to love. It's one of my favorite tropes. So I'm super excited to get to this book, or this series. The next book is much shorter, and that is This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El-Motar and Max Gladstone. Super excited to read this book. I've heard so many good things, and as you can see, very, very short. Not quite as big as the 3-book bind up. But this is a sapphic sci-fi between 2 rival agents during this really, really big war, and I'm so excited to read it. I've heard so many good things, and I need more sapphic books in my life. I am just so excited to read this book. Also, I'm pretty sure that it's written through correspondence between the 2 rival agents, which I think is super interesting. And I love finding books with different kinds of writing styles compared to like the typical narrative. The next book is one I'm actually currently reading, and that is Beneath the Citadel by Destiny Soraya, and I am loving this book so much. It might be one of my new favorite books. I don't know. I am only about 150 pages into it, so this much into it. I was recommended this book by The Problems of a Book Nerd on Twitter, and I was told it had fat rep, ace rep, and bisexual rep, and literally my life just changed, and I stopped everything, dropped everything, and bought this book because I needed it in my life so badly. So basically this follows a group of teenagers, and they are kind of like these rogue vigilantes, and they're trying to expose the government for their crimes and for making people sick. And I won't say anything more about it because I feel like if I say anything more about the plot, it might spoil it a little. So if you like ensemble cast and you like books that have rogue vigilante sort of justice, then you might really like this book. I found it so funny. I love the writing style. I love the characterization. I feel like the characters are so rich in this book, but it also doesn't lose any of the plot by focusing a lot on the characters. It has a really, really good balance between plot and characters. I think you can kind of tell that I've been on a little bit of a fantasy kick. So the next book is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown, and I was mainly really excited about this book because it has enemies to lovers. My favorite trope, I've said it before in this video, I will say it again, enemies to lovers, my favorite trope. So I'm super excited to get to this book. I think I might put it on my July TBR because June is so close to being over, so it might just go on to that TBR. But I definitely want to read this book ASAP. I've heard so many good things about it. I've seen Emily A. Duncan talk about it. I've seen a few of my friends on Twitter talking about it, and everything I've heard has been so positive, so I'm really, really excited. The next book is one I've also talked about a lot on my vlogs, my videos, whatever. That is The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant, and this is a Les Mis retelling, and I am so excited about it. I've heard more mixed reviews for this book, but I think it might be one I enjoy because I think it's also kind of like historical fantasy, which I love that subgenre. I just like my 2 favorite genres in one. It's perfect. And it says on the inside, drawing inspiration from Victor Hugo's Les Miserables and Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book, Kester Grant weaves a mesmerizing tale of cruelty, passion, and vengeance as one girl's vow to save her sister takes her from the city's dark underbelly through the glittering court of Louis XVII into the dawn of a new revolution. So I find this book super intriguing. I can't wait to read it. I don't know when I'm gonna put it on a TBR, but I mean, maybe it might go in July. We'll see. Taking a little break from fantasy, we're gonna go into contemporary for like 1 second, and that is Felix Ever After by Case and Callender. I've actually read a Case and Callender book this year. The other book I read by Case and Callender was This Is Kind of an Epic Love Story. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, but I did really enjoy it. There's just like a couple of things I was like meh about, but overall it was a really enjoyable contemporary. But I'm hoping that I might like Felix Ever After even more. I've heard so many good things about this book, and I immediately want to pick it up. I really, really do. I really need to get off of this fantasy kick just so I can read some of the contemporaries that I own and that I'm like super excited to get to. The next book is one I've talked about a bunch, and that is The Ballot of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I promise I will make a video about it. It's gonna be my next video. I 100% promise. And basically this is a prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy, and it follows President Snow, and it's really good. 4 out of 5 stars. The next book is one I kept seeing on Instagram like a month ago, and I bought it and it just seemed really interesting. It's called A Queen in Hiding by Sarah Kozloff. I don't remember if I put this in my last haul, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it's a fantasy. I'm super interested. I think it might be an adult fantasy. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments down below if it's adult. I couldn't really tell. The next book is 100% an adult fantasy, and that is Jade City by Fonda Lee. And this says, for centuries, honorable greenbone warriors have used magical jade to enhance their abilities and defend the island of Kekon from foreign invasion. Now the war is over and a new generation vies for control of Kekon's bustling capital city. I don't know how to pronounce that. 4 siblings of the powerful Cow family must prepare for battle, and the fragile peace between the clans is about to break. That sounds super intriguing. I've heard so many good things about Jade City, like basically ever since it came out. So I feel like I've been really behind on this book as well, and I'm super excited to read it. The next book is another adult literary fiction novel, and that is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. I feel like everybody knows about this book. I feel like everybody's talked about this book. Basically, this book is about a young black woman, and she is a babysitter for a white toddler. And one day when they are at the supermarket, they get stopped and questioned, and it's just basically about the fallout from that. I'm super intrigued by this book. I've heard so many good things, and I really hope I enjoy it. Okay, so we have 4 more books left, and they are all related. They are all written by the same author, and they are all from the same series. I am absolute trash. I just have to let you guys know. So the first books are Crown of Midnight and Heir of Fire. They're all in paperback. I really needed to get these. I had been telling myself I was going to get the rest of the set of paperbacks for the series. Never did. And the next 2 books are Empire of Storms and Kingdom of Ash. I feel like such absolute trash because I love this series and I never finished these 2 last books. So because I bought all of these books in paperback, I'm planning on doing either one whole huge video about this entire series, or if you guys are interested, I am thinking of doing a series of videos on this entire series. I have done a video on Throne of Glass in the past, talking about rereading it and annotating it and just kind of like giving a full review of it. I love that video. I still stand by that video, and I just love the series so much. I know Sarah J. Maas, problematic, I totally get it, but I love this series. I love Selena. I love Kale. Kale is my book boyfriend. I love Kale so much. So I just had to get the rest of these books in paperback. They're gorgeous. Look at how beautiful they are. And I'm just so excited. I didn't think I was going to buy these anytime soon, but then I just had this need to reread them and to see how I felt about them and to finally get to the last 2 books. Actually, I also need to get to Tower of Dawn, so I guess I have 3 books to get to. But I read all the way through up until Queen of Shadows. Loved Queen of Shadows. I did read a little bit of this book, Empire of Storms, but didn't really get through the whole thing. So I'm super excited, and I hope you guys are too. Let me know down below if you'd rather have like one huge video or maybe like 2 smaller videos. I almost forgot that I was going to mention the books that I have on my iPad. So we'll just go through these super fast. We're not going to do anything crazy. The first book that I have is Wasted Words by Stacey Hart. It's an Emma retelling. I've talked about it a lot. The next one is I'm Still Here, Black Dignity in a World Made for Whiteness by Austin Channing Brown. Got that one recently, haven't read it yet. I got Stay Gold by Tobley McSmith. I have Black Girls Must Die Exhausted by Jane Allen. I also bought The Weight of the Stars by Kay Ingram because I've been recommended that book a couple of times and I really need to read it. I have Conquest by Celeste Hart, From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and also Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Rennie Edo Lodge. I gave that a 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. It was just so wonderful and poignant, and just, it was amazing. I loved it. I also got Conceal Don't Feel by Jen Colanita, and that is like a Frozen retelling, and I'm super excited to read that as well. I got that when it was free for a day. So super excited. Okay, so I think that we are all done with this haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books. I really want to know your guys' thoughts. And also let me know some of the books that you've gotten recently that you've really loved. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!
Ooh, I thought it'd be me and you.